Welcome to the Caribbean Cultural Center African Diaspora Institute's latest session of AFRO WAVES. My name is Bianca Velez, Director of Communications for the Caribbean Cultural Center African Diaspora Institute, which is CADI for short. And tonight we are going to enjoy the sounds of Brooklyn-based music and multimedia duo Soul Science Lab. After the performance, we will have an opportunity to chat live with Soul Science Lab and take your questions. If you are one of our regulars, welcome back. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the CADI community. We are dedicated to advancing racial and social justice and cultural equity for African descendants. If that is a mission you want to be a part of, then we encourage you to make a gift of any amount to show your support and help our advancement. You can do that by visiting our website, cccadi.org, clicking that donate button, and taking just 2 minutes to fill out the form to make your gift. Tonight's program is one of the ways we fulfill our mission. AFRO WAVES is a concert series that showcases the Black cultural evolution with vanguard artists of the African diaspora. We're pleased to present this installment of the series as part of Carnegie Hall's Voices of Hope Festival running through April 30th. So without further ado, let's kick this off and enjoy Soul Science Lab's performance. I'll see you back here after the show for our live Q&A.
Yo, peace and love, y'all. We're so happy and so blessed to be here rocking with you right now, wherever you may be. Shout out to the Caribbean Cultural Center African Diaspora Institute for having us. My name is Chen Lo.
That's right. My name is Asante. Good looks, everybody. And together we are the Soul Science Lab. And again, you know what I'm saying? We are innovative Afro-futuristic griots, and we create our own wave. That's why we're being featured on AFRO WAVES. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people be doing stuff just for the moment. It's real temporary, but we try to think timelessness. You know what I mean? So that's why we gonna get into this next number. Yo, Chin, talk to him.
You know what? We always rock to let people know that we're infinite, but for real, so are you. But I'm tired of talking, man. Let's get into this first joint, you know what I'm saying?
Come on, let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? The lyrics are easy. All you gotta say is, we so infinite. We so infinite. We so infinite.
They are.
We so infinite. We so infinite. Yo, Chilo, talk to him.
Look, from the Valley of the Kings, bow down, kiss the onyx. All praise due, y'all respect your highness. Afro-futuristic pilot, high levelness for the low, we got it. Clear course, Chris, y'all stick the diamonds. Flow so cold, I'ma hard to climb it. Welcome to these streets of fire. My firstborn gonna take you higher. We the sun, moon, stars, and the universe. Obelisk, amethyst, pyramids, waterwork. Soul scientist, king, and philosopher. Priest from the east, spit, healer, the monitor. True and living light, leader to a follower. Insight, how we seeing through the hollow ones. Get it right, we the ones who you got it from. Universe law, what's a police officer? Say we so infinite. We so infinite. Everybody, we so infinite. We so infinite. Come on, say we so infinite. We so infinite. Louder, we so infinite. Soul scientists, fire that higher. Talk to him, Asante.
Y'all already know the vibe. In case any of y'all forgot,
Come on.
I'ma do it like this, you heard me?
Let's do it, bro.
1, 2,
Talk to
3,
him.
4. It's not no mystery. We the black gods of antiquity. Invaded Europe and Sicily. We the ghost of the lion from Tripoli. Truth is universal. Scripture was born inside my journal. I spit that heat, lyrical inferno. You get too close and the flow might burn you. The flow is alchemical. Anything but typical. High pedigree recipe, we the pinnacle. No GMO, no chemical. Black and original. Like it, you miserable. Magical killer flow. The king and the general. Getting money, but we so metaphysical. My artifacts be audio visual. So interactive, organic magic, spiritual practice. Dipped in a blackness. Blackout, back in bag with a classic. We so infinite. I told you before we killing shit. New spaceship out the dealership. Every day of my life I'm building. I say 1, 2, 3,
sing it.
God.
Say Africa's the future. Africa's the future. Hey, Africa's the future. Africa's the future.
You know what though?
Say Africa.
I am the future. I am the future. What else? New Orleans is the future. Africa's the future. Hey, if I told you once, I tell you again. We so infinite. If I told you once, I tell you again. Say we so infinite. If I told you once, I tell you again. Say we so infinite. If I told you once, I tell you again. Say we so infinite. Hey. We so infinite. We so infinite. It's true. We so infinite. Yeah, we so infinite. Louder. We so infinite. We so infinite. Come on. Yo, we so infinite. So scientists fly that higher. We so infinite. We so infinite. Sing it. We so infinite. We so infinite. Yo, I'm so infinite. We so infinite. Yo, we so infinite. So scientists fly that higher. Yes, sir. Put your hands up. Hands up. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all at the crib. Y'all looking at me through your screen. That's right. Fuck all that. Hey, I need some energy. Let's go. I say 1. What you gotta say, bro? 3. I'ma bring it back. Like they say. Yo, Africa's the future. Africa's the future. It's true. Africa's the future. Africa's the future. Yeah. Yo, Africa's the future. Africa's the future. Let them know. Africa's the future. Africa's the future. Yeah. Africa's the future. Africa's the future. I'm talking Mansa Musa and Kwame Nkrumah. Who else? Ya Asante and Patrice Lumumba. Yeah, I'm talking Mansa Musa and Kwame Nkrumah. Yeah, like Ya Asante and Patrice Lumumba. Let's go. I'm talking Mansa Musa and Kwame Nkrumah. I'ma do it like this though. Ya Asante and Patrice Lumumba. I am Shaka Zulu, Desmond Tutu, Afeni, Tupac, and Matulu. I am Nat Turner, working voodoo, getting revelation from the pyramids in Khufu. The richest continent with the word of God etched in the monuments. Whether it's talking flossiness and stylishness, we get a world scholarship, acknowledge it. I fight back like a Haitian. My mind stay your repatriation, laid the foundation for civilization. Our time is now, ain't no time for waiting. Hey, Gaddafi, St. Carla, Lumumba, and Nkrumah, they live for our future, right? Amina, Nzinga, Hashetu, we see it. So science salute. I'm talking Mansa Musa and Kwame Nkrumah. Who else? Ya Asante and Patrice Lumumba. Say it. I'm talking Mansa Musa and Kwame Nkrumah. Yeah, Ya Asante and Patrice Lumumba. Hey, Africa's the future. Africa's the future. Hey, say Africa's the future. Africa's the future. Yeah. Africa's the future. Africa's the future. Africa. I see y'all out there. Yo, Lo, talk to him. Get your passport for your protection. Dual citizen repatriation. We the markers of the generation. My squad go hard getting information. Heard them all saying what's better than this. I got a plan in my hand for the exodus. Black Star Mall, we set the trip and travel the war to the continent. Yeah, they say it's always on fire. Why trust them when you know they liars? They wanna own all of your empire. Ghana, Rwanda, Congo, Niger, Mozambique, Liberia, Kenya, Martinique, Liberia, Libya, Chad, Angola, Gabon, Mali, Burundi, Guinea, and Malawi, Morocco, Senegal, and the Gambia, Lesotho, SA, and Namibia, Zimbabwe, Cameroon, and Somalia, Ethiopia, Uganda. Got more gold than the Wild Wild West. All the best land and the resources. Got the whole world on who got next. Better get you some for it ain't none less. We say it's the yo, Africa's the future. Africa's the future. Yeah. Africa's the future. Africa's the future. Say it. Africa's the future. Africa's the future. Come on. Yo, Africa's the future. I'm talking. I'm talking Mansa Musa and Kwame Nkrumah. Yeah, like Ya Asante and Patrice Lumumba. Come on. I'm talking Mansa Musa and Kwame Nkrumah. Who else? Ya Asante and Patrice Lumumba. I was in the motherland, vibing on a plan, getting stimulation from my pineal gland. Say it, yo, Africa's the future, so scientists fly that higher. Queen Amina, Queen Nzinga, using all to fight back like I'm Seraphina. Say it, yo, Africa's the future, so scientists fly that higher. We get a foundation for civilization, but you never know the way people be hating. Africa's the future, so scientists fly that higher. The Peter Science is so yo, slaying on my foes. Fuck Cecil Rose and King Leopold.
Say Africa's the future, so scientists fire that higher.
You did?
Yes, sir, bro. That was so fire, man. I can't believe how much I love that song. Listen, we actually went across the African continent, went back to the past, went to the future, ended up right back here in the present. Phenomenal, bro. I can't believe it.
Come on. If you ain't know, you already know we some innovative Afro
futuristic griots.
We kind of deal with saying code for meaning. You can't know where you're going unless you know where you've been.
Come on.
But that's beautiful. We gonna slow it down.
Yeah, let's slow it down a little bit.
Now, you know what I'm saying? It's time to just pay the utmost respect to those who deserve the respect.
Sir.
Y'all already know the black woman is God.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So we gonna pay homage to the true original Kingmaker.
You already know, bro. Yes, sir. This is like a love letter to the love of my life. Shout out to Nana Badu. So beautiful and lovely, I had to put a ring on it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. I'm tired of talking about it.
This is how your pop and mama used to do it back in the day,
I believe it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You might even want to pour a little glass of wine on this one. I don't know.
I wish I had one right here. A little glass of wine, a little red, Merlot.
We're gonna smooth it on out though.
This feels good. This feels real good. Shout out to all the kingmakers in the building. Hey. Like, love of my life, she's the love of my life. Hey, love of my life, she's the love of my life. Yeah, love of my life, she's the love of my life. Had to put a ring on her, had to make her my wife. She's a kingmaker. Yeah, she's a kingmaker.
This black love thing I might sing to y'all.
Black love for sure.
We'll do it like this.
Come on, what you gotta say, Asante? Yeah, she's a kingmaker. She was born to be a queen. She the one that I she came to me in a dream. She's a kingmaker. She took a lifetime to find. I see eternity in the beauty of her design. She's a kingmaker. Give me a physical feeling, but there's nothing that compared to your spiritual healing. You a kingmaker. You made a man into
I'm gonna talk to him one time,
do his thing. He's finished with childish things.
My sister, young queen, keep my mind right. Help me navigate this crazy world in this limelight. I was lost in the dark, but you shine bright. You kiss my tired eyelids, gave my eyesight. It feels mystical. You finish a sentence where I begin. Our connection transcend the physical. The love is so visible. Your presence is nutritious as vitamins, minerals, redefining the typical. We transcend the temporal. Still your beauty is visual, made me rise to the pinnacle. This is heaven on earth, supernatural. Love is spiritual. Finding you was a miracle. Without you, I'd be miserable. You're full of elegance, beauty, intelligence. I'm showing reverence. This love is heaven sent, a testament from the beneficent. She be the first and the last, therefore she's always relevant.
You a kingmaker. You were born to be a queen. You the one that I was seeking. You came to me in a dream. You a kingmaker. You took a lifetime to find, but I see eternity in the beauty of your design. You a kingmaker. Give me a physical feeling, but it's nothing that compared to your spiritual healing. You a kingmaker. Made a man into a Listen, Baba told me you a kingmaker. Gave me chills when he said it. I'm grateful to God in the heavens. You were created. Your beauty is so intense. Your sun kissed is rich. Was love the first time my lips touched your lips. You're the magic of a queen. Your name, that's what it means. Forever we can pray to be what we believe. I pray you always feel loved, cherished, appreciated. I'm glad you chose me to build something that's so amazing. You came in a lot of upgrading, a lot is changing. We learned a lot of lessons in patience and understanding. The future's fascinating, the present is precious time. Forever's getting better, we're aging the way you want. So much I wanna show you, I'm giving you all of me. For your love, I'll be your soldier and conquer our enemies. This world will keep you sober, tell you just what you need. What I need is you and me, and our union will set us free. She's a kingmaker,
a dream maker, a team player, an innovator, setting trends and originator, a kingmaker, a team player, a dream maker, an innovator. She's setting trends, y'all. I see a kingmaker, a dream maker, an innovator, a team player. She's setting trends all the time.
She's a kingmaker.
Baby, would you please take my hand? Baby, would you please? She's a kingmaker. She was born to be a queen. She's the one who I was see when she came to me in a dream. She's a kingmaker.
She took a lifetime to find, but I see eternity in the beauty of her design. She's a kingmaker. Give me a physical feeling, but there's nothing that compares to your spiritual healing. She's a kingmaker. Made a man into a king, for a king to do his thing. He's finished with childish things. Yeah, for a man to do his thing, he's finished with childish things. Yeah, again, love of my life, the love of my life, love of my life. Man, bro, I'm so blessed to have an amazing black woman as a partner. And listen, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to protect our ability to live, love, and prosper. That's why I'm coming for everything that's owed to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming for the culture. I'm coming for the land. I'm coming for the soul. Matter of fact, I want it all back. I'm taking it all back. Give me that. Yeah, let's go. We're gonna do it like this. Come on, everybody so clap. Come on, give me that soul back. Come on, everybody so clap. Come on, yup, give me that soul back. Come on, yup, everybody so clap. Come on, yup, give me that soul back. Come on, yup, everybody so clap. Come on, yup, give me that soul back. Come on, everybody so clap. Come on, give me that, give me that, give me that. Come on, give me that, give me that, give me that. Right back. Yeah, we taking it all back, y'all. Asante, I mean, show 'em what you do with that horn, brother. Yeah. I want it all back, back, back. Come on. Give me your soul clap, 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 clap. I want it all back, 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 back. Come on. I said, give me that soul back. Come on. Everybody soul clap. Come on. Give me that soul back. Come on. Everybody soul clap. Come on. Yup, give me that soul back. Come on. Yup, everybody soul clap. Come on. Give me that, give me that, give me that. Come on, give me that, give me that. I want it all back. The blues that rock way before rap. Whatever else we build even before that. Radio was switching up the format. Blackface taking a place of where the scoops at. I couldn't know that, but what would I be in the face of all the grace before me? I celebrate the race and all the glorious base in the face to all the fakes and phonies. It ain't yours, you wanna change the story and make sure the shorties will never know me. In this case we play judge and jury. Defendant found guilty, truth will set us all free. Your gimmicks will last a hot minute. Universal was pure and so endless. Whole MO is stole, you gotta mimic. Learn to curse slow for sure, you got limits. You get hit to this, your heart's finished. Still no appeal, you serving a life sentence. We rob allows a rhythm to soul killers. Look, don't touch, you killing the soul in it, that soul back. Come on, everybody so glad. Come on, give me that soul back. Come on, everybody so glad. Come on, give me that soul back. Come on, yup, everybody so glad. Come on, give me that, give me that, give me that. Come on, give me that, give me that, give me that. Hey, come on, Asante, I mean. Hey, hey, I want it all back. Hey, hey, I need a soul clap, 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 clap. Listen. I roll a stone on a beetle, it's illegal according to most people. They be fiending for the lethal and deadliest small creatures who are feasting on the genius and meaningful soul singers. Got a little piece and deserving the whole kingdom. They while the rhythms and rhythms are so seasoned. Ingredients and secret and woven into my helix. Yeah, they gon' steal it and call it another remix. I'm gonna reveal it and carry these hard feelings. I came to get it and bring it back to the village. Whoever's in the way should be careful with how you feeling. War room banners and rappers collecting billions. You're on the same trees, green versus the brilliant. Good as gangrene, I promise you gon' feel it. So the same seas, the karma is unforgiving. You better run it, we on it, you can't hide. It's a lot, M&M's and chocolate inside that soul back. Come on, everybody so glad. Come on, give me that soul back. Come on, everybody so glad. Come on, give me that soul back. Come on, everybody so glad. Come on, give me that, give me that, give me that. Give me that, give me that, give me that. Hey, hey, yeah, listen, I want it all back, 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 yeah, I need a soul clap, 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 look, I want it all back, 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 where we going? Yeah, smooth it out for us, bro. I see you on the horn, that New Orleans, yeah, come on. I want it all back, 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 back. I need a soul clap, 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 clap. I want it all back, 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 back. Give me a soul clap, 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 clap. I want it all back, 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 back. I want it all back. Yeah. It's reminded me of being in Ghana, being in Senegal, on the coast, on the beach, repping for my people. I want it all back. I want it all back. I want it all back.
Now that's the kind of vibe I love.
Fire,
Listen,
bro.
anytime we can talk about taking back what's ours,
Yes, sir.
with it. I hope y'all was out there, you know what I'm saying, dancing, doing a little stanky leg or something, because this music is about turning up, about dancing, motion, community. You dig? You know what I'm saying, Chinlo?
Yes, sir. This is celebration music, movement music, you know what I'm saying? This is like liberation music, bro. But you know what? I actually think we turned up with that, but we can go so much higher. How many of y'all ready to go higher with us?
Listen, I'm so happy you said
Let's
that.
do it. I see you. I'm ready for it.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen out there, hopefully you've been moving. You know what I'm saying, moving and grooving. Sign of Soul Science Lab, you did.
Come on.
We done had a whole lot of vibe, but we want to close out on a real high note like this. 2, 1, 2.
We come to take you higher, high, high. We come to take you higher, high, high. We come to take you higher, high, high. So science takes you higher and high and high and high. Move, now move to the left, hey, to the left, come on. Now move to the right, stand up for your rights. Now move to the left, hey, to the left, come on. Now move to the right, don't give up the fight. Asante,
Who got the power?
yeah,
You got the power.
say yeah,
We got the power.
come on, yeah,
This is the hour.
I say yeah,
I hear the whisper
yeah,
of my ancestors.
yeah,
We can't be denied.
yeah,
Cause God will provide.
yeah, come on.
I thought I told you that we come to
Free your mind. Hey.
Too many people drop the ball for
Dollar sign, yeah.
My music is the scriptures for the future time. We resurrect the dead.
Let's go.
And give sight to the blind.
We going
Higher.
High.
We come to take you higher.
High. Let's go.
We come to take you higher.
High. So science takes you high and high and high. Move with it, y'all. Now move to the left, hey, to the left, hey. Now move to the right, stand up for your right. Now move to the left, hey, to the left, come on. Now move to the right,
Don't give up the fight. Chinlo.
The time is now, they told me it would never come. Now count yourself a member of the chosen one. My Bible told me freedom is a state of mind. I'm flying high, I see you on the other side. A higher vibration, exodus to a permanent vacation. On deck, we escaping, palace in an undisclosed location. Elevating like we caught in a rapture. Living right now like it's life hereafter. Gotta bring your longer visa on your passport. Higher heights don't go require your life force. High, yeah.
So science take you higher.
High. We come to take you high. So science takes you high and high.
Yo, now
and high. Let's move, y'all. Now move to the left, hey, to the left, come on. Now move to the right, stand up for your right. Now move to the left, hey, to the left, hey. Now move to the right,
Don't give up the fight.
don't give up the fight. Come on, clap your hands, y'all. Like that, yeah. Keep going.
That's right. Oh, I
It
see
feels
y'all
so
doing
good,
the
bro.
stanky leg out there. 1, 2, we come to take you higher.
High, yeah. We come to take you
higher.
high, yeah. We come to take you
Higher.
high. So science takes you high and high and high and high, yo. Now move to the left, hey, to the left, come on. Now move to the right, stand up for your right. Hey, now move to the left, hey, to the left, come on. Now move to the right, don't give up the fight. Bruh. That was simply amazing, man. We really appreciate y'all having us. It's been such a blast. We enjoyed ourselves. Shout out again to the Caribbean Cultural Center. Couldn't have done it without y'all.
True indeed. Thank y'all again. You can follow us on everything at soulsciencelab.com. You know what I'm saying? Be sure to reach out. We love y'all. Hope we see you again. Peace.
All right, I hope that you guys are giving Soul Science Lab a huge round of applause. They brought us the vibe we absolutely needed this Saturday night. And with that, I want to bring in Chen Lo and Asante Amin for the post-show Q&A. Guys, welcome. How are you guys feeling?
Feeling great, feeling phenomenal, you know? Dope performance, hoping people loved it.
Yes,
I was
absolutely.
up dancing myself.
I was too. I was just going to say that. I have to tell you that I was out here feeling it. I thought that performance was amazing. So thank you so much. And while we wait for the audience to send in their questions, I have a few questions for you guys myself.
Perfect.
And I want to talk about the music that we just heard. So we just heard some amazing sounds, and they came off of your album, Plan for Paradise. Talk to me a little bit about that album, where the inspiration come from. How did that come to be?
Definitely.
Wow. Yeah.
So much at one time. I can set it off, bro. I mean, Plan for Paradise was the first album that Asante Amin and I collectively created as Soul Science Lab. And the project was really about helping people to imagine a new reality, right? To think of a way that they could project themselves into a new space, a new time, you know, a time where we're not experiencing what we're experiencing now, but helping them understand that they have the ability, we all have the ability to manifest and transform our reality.
Yeah, and I remember the album kind of came about, if I remember correctly, like in 2015. Donald Trump was running for president, and I just remember the doom and despair that was kind of just like so pervasive. And so I think for us, it was more about like, yeah, we see that happening in the world, but we got to do what we do as people of color, as African people. We got to use our spiritual technologies. We got to go in and we have to imagine a paradise for ourselves. Because anytime you're dealing with an adverse situation and it's looking the way it's looking, you have an opportunity to create something totally new. So that was kind of like the impetus and mental space we were in when we approached the album.
Definitely.
I love that. I love that. And now you guys take it a little bit further. You're not just producing music. You guys are out there teaching music. And actually, tonight's concert was a part of Carnegie Hall's Voices of Hope Festival, as I mentioned earlier. And you guys have a project with Carnegie Hall as well. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that?
No doubt. No doubt. Thank you for asking about it. Actually, people are going to get an opportunity to experience parts of that project very soon. And we're working with Carnegie Hall on a project called Make a Joyful Noise. And it's actually a visual album Asante and I have been conceptualizing for probably like a year and a half at this point. And the first parts of it that people will experience are a curriculum. It's actually like a 10 video curriculum that uses themes from this album, but it's teaching young people about songwriting, music production. So it's an amazing project. We can't wait for people to see it later on in May.
Beautiful. And while we still wait for the audience is giving so much love. They're not giving any questions, so I'm just going to keep rolling.
Thank y'all.
They're giving so much love. That performance was fire. But I want to ask you guys, we talked a little bit about how you came to be with the project of the album, but how did Soul Science Lab form? How did you guys come together? How did you decide that you were going to create music together?
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Not to be too cryptic and esoteric, but it was truly written in the heavens. It's truly an act of God, and kind of the way we live our life. We just follow the signs and the synchronicities. But Chen Lo and I, it's 2021, so I guess we've been knowing each other a little over a decade now, and we actually originally interfaced as teaching artists. We were, educators, artists, but doing the work, and we happen to work at the same company. And we were at a show and tell day for the company, and I saw him on stage rhyming. I don't even know what I did that day, but whatever we did, it was some natural synergy where we were like attracted to speak to one another. He had a band at the time. I had a band at the time. His band needed horns. needed a horn section. And I'm a saxophone player, multi-instrumentalist. So we naturally linked up and I started writing horn arrangements for his band. He would join my band at different times. And then from there, we just kind of kept building. And in 2012, we got the opportunity to create a large scale production called Soundtrack 63, which is a historical retrospective about Black life in America. And it utilizes Black protest songs over the last 100 years. And we collaborated on that. And then from there, it was kind of like, we just kind of looked at each other and was like, bro, I think it's something here. I think we need to like keep this process going along. You know what I'm saying? We might could change the world together.
Yes, no I love that. Yeah. Absolutely. And we have a question now from the audience from Tantalon Acoustic. The question is, has the whole slowdown of usual life pace during this pandemic offered you more or less time for creative projects together?
Wow, it's a loaded question. It's a really great question. I mean, I think for us, I'll say this, pre-pandemic, our creative life looked a certain way. We actually had a bunch of creative opportunities, residencies, performances, projects on our plate that got shut down in 2020. But what it forced us to do was to rethink the way that we're creating our work and what we're producing, so that, you know, it isn't just about performances, but it's about making sure people can experience the things that we do for longevity at any time on demand. And so we've been working. I mean, I think, you know, probably from the summer of last year till now, things have been extremely busy. And so we're really blessed and having to like run our company and simultaneously create these projects at the same time. So yeah, it's been a great creative time.
Absolutely.
And I just want to add to that and just issue you know, some caution. I feel like a lot of us, the days between the line between days and hours have blurred. And a lot of us just find ourselves working on end without distinction between like rest and work. So the time has been really intentional and really meaningful. But I know there was a point when we said to ourselves, nah, we got to do something different. And I think what the pandemic allowed us to more intentionally do was like just tap into like our self-care kind of regimens and practices. And out of the pandemic though, Make a Joyful Noise, the show that's going to premiere next month, or aspects of it, it emerged in a new format. And we just saw like the mental health importance of what we do as artists and wanting to put those messages out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that. I think that you hit a good point, because the pandemic hit, and a lot of the conversations I was having with my friends who are creatives is like, yes, all this time to tap in, to do this, to do that. And then all of a sudden you find yourself trying to tap in too much and not having those boundaries that you were talking about.
Yep.
We got another question from the audience from Michael Sean Cordero.
Hey.
Okay.
It says, who be dressing y'all in those fire outfits?
Hey.
No, that's secret information. You can't let that out of the bag. Nah,
you gonna let them know, bro. You ain't gonna
you know I have
give
to
them the plug.
Nah, you know we're super fortunate that my wife Nana Badu at Badu Basics, she has two companies, Badu Basics and What Is Your Accent. You know, my wife is Ghanaian, so she's got a direct connect to the continent, to the fabrics, to the looks, but she's also a stylist and image consultant. And so she comes up with these, you know, dope looks for us and dope styles for us to make sure we look good everywhere that we go, that we're repping. And that's been our mainstay. It's one of our signatures, custom design Ankara outfits, you know, for pretty much every show, you know, so we're super blessed. Shout out again, during the song Kingmaker, I was talking about her, you know, because it's just amazing to have her in my life and our lives, really, because I know that since she came around, we both got
we didn't all blown up. You know what I'm saying? Enough for everybody.
Our whole team got upgraded. So, you know, shout out once again. But do Basics, check her out. It's really ill.
Yes, I love that.
Do Basics on everything.
Yeah.
Please follow her. Please follow her.
All right, we got another question from the audience, and now they're jumping right in.
Let's do
it. Question from Angelou says, So only one of you is married, right? And the other is clue us in.
I'm single.
I got my ring right here, so I can't, bro. That's all you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Listen, I don't even want to say I'm looking for my kingmaker, but I'm in a space where I'm attracting positive and beautiful things to me. I'll just say that. You know,
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I love that.
I actually want to circle back to something that you guys were talking about earlier, which is about being educators and being artists. And why is that so important to you guys as a duo?
I mean, to be honest, artists are educators, whether they want to be or not. I think one of the things that I know I realized early on, once I understood that I had this gift, was that I had a responsibility also. And we always tap in, and we've learned a lot about the West African oral tradition of the griot or the jele. And this is like, it's the storytelling musician who, was able to maintain culture using poetry and music. And that's like, well-known, very strong and very important tradition in many, of the new kind of contemporary countries in West Africa, but it's an ancient tradition. So, griots understood that like they couldn't just be using that gift like willy-nilly. Like they had a responsibility to make sure that generations down the line, people understood their history, their traditions, their culture, why they did certain things, who they needed to know and understand in their history and their culture, who was really important. And so we take that mantle on as well, and understanding like, hip hop, not only is it a, multi-billion-dollar industry around the world, but hip hop is like a super just pervasive and powerful art form. And so since that's our medium and that's what we use, we know we have a responsibility, to understand and be intentional about what we say and what we create, because it impacts people. And we know people learn. Most people do learn creatively, visually, orally, kinesthetically. So that's like our mission.
And I'll add to that by saying, as an educator, it's my mission to create other educators. As a lifelong learner, you don't really know something until you can teach it, until you can scaffold the process and communicate it and articulate it. So even with my students, to me, it's never about me being a teacher. I'm up here giving you information. It's about creating an environment where you can feel safe enough to explore what's already in your heart and mind. And everything I give you as an educator, because I've been a music teacher extensively just in New York, New Orleans, and around the world, I always require that my students get up and teach peer-to-peer to other students, because I understand you don't really know what you're doing until you can teach it. And so as an artist, what am I talking about if I'm not willing to sit down and learn and share those stories with other people? So I feel like learning and teaching, these are very underrated roles, but this is what we come to the planet to do. Like it's very profound.
Right. I love that. And how did you guys learn, respectively, music? How did you guys learn to be musicians? What's your education background, your personal education background?
I went to a few schools, but I have to say, just being from New Orleans, like you're inculcated and indoctrinated into rhythmic ways of being from the time you hop out of the womb. And I come from I come from a father whose parents were from Mississippi. My grandfather was a DJ who loved the blues. My father, loved Rick James, loved Charlie Parker. So as far back as I can remember, music has always been a part of my life. And it was one of those things where I didn't have to I wasn't taught it. I was just initiated into the ways of our community. And I feel like inherent in communities of color, it's understated, but yeah, we're all artists. And of course, along the way, that was cultivated by my environment. And then somewhere along the way, I made the intentional decision to say, I didn't want to work for white folk, right? And then I was like, well, what am I gonna do? I'll be an artist because I'm good at it, and I'm passionate about it. And of course, along the way, I found profound mentors and educators who I resonated with. And again, I'm still learning, but just to give a shout out, I went to Southern University. at New Orleans, which is a university that prides itself on producing and creating social workers and teachers in the Black community. And again, I had some profound elders who held my hand along the way.
I love that.
Yeah, and for me, I'm as an MC and songwriter, I'm self-taught. You know, hip hop taught me, and experience taught me, and then, you know, experience and time just in the music industry, working in the space, I've learned a lot. You know, and then as Asante said, you don't really know what you know until you can teach it, and so I've been teaching it, even to reinforce what I've learned and what I know, and to sharpen my skill and the scaffolder within myself, you know, for a long time, you know, 15 years plus, to young people all around the world. And so, you know, and then also being around really talented musicians, I think that's really key. Like people like Asante, you know, he runs with bands of like the best musicians anywhere that he goes. And so, you know, being in those environments, you learn, you soak up so many things. And so, yeah, and here we are, you know.
Thank you both for that. I want to ask you a little bit about how you feel music plays a role, or how important is the role that music plays when we're going through the moments that we're going through as it pertains to Black Lives Matter protest and the verdict of the trial that we just experienced a couple of days ago. How important is music to healing or to the resistance movement, in your opinion?
Wow. Man, I mean, I think earlier Asante mentioned Soundtrack 63, which is like a music and multimedia retrospective of Black history in America. And it's basically soundtracked or scored by protest songs over the last 100 years, as he said. And so, you know, Asante and I have studied protest songs, protest music, understanding the power of it. And we always talk about like Amiri Baraka and blues people. And he talks about the fact that like you understand the condition or the space that the people are in by listening to their music or, you know, looking at their art. And, you know, protest songs are extremely powerful. Protest songs, as we've known, you know, from movements throughout the history of this country, protest songs have been how, you know, movements have carried on, how people have communicated, you know, how people stay bonded and linked. Right now, I know for me, one thing that we are intentionally dealing with right now is that so much of our careers have been kind of laced and determined by the fact that the experience of Black people and people of color in this country has been one of oppression, simple and plain, one of dealing with, you know, the trials and the challenges of white supremacy. And so that finds its way into our art a lot. And right now we're making a very intentional shift, you know, to change that narrative. And as Asante was talking about earlier, you know, we're infusing so much of our mental health, joy into our art, because we know right now that's people need that now more than ever. It's like you can look at your timeline at any time and you'll see things that could depress you, you know, more than, you know, things we're experiencing as a result of this pandemic. And so we're like this, okay, we know those things are happening, but we also know that the way for us to challenge those things and the way for us to transform this narrative and this condition that we're in is for us to show up as our best selves, our most powerful selves, the selves that can thrive against any weapons that are being formed against us. And so that's kind of been the way we're formulating our art in the face of this madness, quite frankly.
Asante, you want to add anything there?
I always want to add. It's about if we got time. But, nah, you know, everything my good brother said is absolutely on point. You know, it makes me think about the poet and scholar Amiri Baraka, and I quote him often. But he said, you know the history of our people by listening to the music, right? Like it's not necessarily all of the time in history books, and we know we come from people who deal with oral tradition anyway, and we notate and define our moments in glorious art and beautiful songs. And music and art should speak to every moment and every facet of life. There's no facet of life that music, songs, or art should be off limit from communicating to. So the music has to do that. And it makes me think about Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael, but he just talked about the fact that back during the civil rights movement, when the young people, because these were young people, when they would protest and they were being fire hosed and they were being arrested and they were being just like, dogs were being sicked on them. Every night they would meet at a church and they would sing spirituals. They would sing freedom songs. And this energized them and gave them just like supernatural energy and power to keep going on. So there's something really supernatural and magnetic and divine about the way we use music and music in general. And so again, as soul scientists, we always try to tap into that.
Well, I think you're doing a good job, because I was vibing in that performance and I was hyped, and you were like, we're going to take it higher. And I was like, are they really going to take it higher? And then we took it higher. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yes.
All right. I want to again thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you so much for this lovely Q&A. I got a chance to know you a little bit better. Our audience got a chance to know you a little bit better, and it's been just such a pleasure. Before I let you guys go, where can people learn more about you? How can people stay up to date?
Great. I see it flashing on the bottom of the screen. You know what I'm saying? But soulsciencelab.com. Soul Science Lab on everything. Please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever, LinkedIn. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, some of y'all are very professional. I love it. Right. I post on LinkedIn too. And I don't know. That's it. But Bianca, I just want to thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
AFRO WAVES, I just want to thank you. And the
Caribbean Cultural Center,
yeah.
African Diaspora Institute. We're so grateful to you all for having us here. We appreciate the opportunity just to speak and perform on this platform, and everybody that tuned in, we love y'all.
It's been our pleasure to have you. And also to all of our audience members watching from home, thank you. If you enjoyed tonight's show, and I know you did, spread the love, share it with your friends and family, and check out all of our recorded content on our page, cccadi.org, and our calendar of upcoming events. Guys, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And everybody at home, thank you.
Thank you.
And donate. Get these people some money so they can donate. Don't play no games. All right?
Yes. Support the cause. Yes. Thank you, guys.